friends, hope you are well and had a great weekend. We have some great news topics for you today. Before we jump into that, if you haven't seen the special episode about the tracking app that is set to set sail in Australia, the links are below. Welcome to the Dirt Port, where we have telco news, tech news, opinions and crappy jokes. Not always in that same order. So in today's episode, we have Telstra pushes for full breakdown of NBN Co's costs. NBN Co approves a relief package. Optus pushes enterprise 5G and a new iPhone. What a week, friends. All right, let's get started. Telstra. I certainly believe that any government-funded and run organisation should have a full breakdown of costs. After all, it's the taxpayer money that funds it, so as a taxpayer, we should be able to see where each dollar goes. However, Telstra's motivation is to expose cross-subsidies. You see, back in March, Telstra sent a letter to NBN Co, which was only made public last week. This is what it said. They requested that a detailed financial breakdown was needed to ally industry concerns around NBN Co's enterprise and market play, and the way NBN Co finances the regional portion of the network. Telstra states in the letter that there is no transparency around which part of the NBN Co are commercial and which are non-commercial. The process behind that is called the SAU and LTRCM, which are designed to provide a commercial return to a commercial business while constraining prices to prevent a monopoly operator charging unfair prices. But NBN Co isn't a monopoly, as it is not selling services directly to customers. Well, sort of. They are selling enterprise solutions directly, and this raises concerns about the effects on the private sector investment and a distortion of competition in the market. This was an issue we talked about many months ago. But here's the thing, because NBN Co invests in connecting regional areas which harbour a higher cost but a lower return due to the limited customer base, Telstra is saying they are subsidising the regional rollout by expanding their enterprise sales, which in turn reduces Telstra's business, but then also includes a levy to be paid by wired service providers to subsidise that regional rollout again. Honestly, it's pretty convoluted. NBN Co has always said that their levy to subsidise the regional rollout is included in its wholesale pricing, and that some fixed line network operators will be required to pay the regional broadband scheme levy in order to subsidise NBN Co's non-commercial fixed wireless and satellite services. Now, I'm having a hard time trying to make heads or tails of this, but even if this push by Telstra is selfish, it might lead to a better understanding of how NBN Co operates, where the costs are flowing to, and a clarification on their enterprise arm. Looking at if it's disrupting the fair market competition in the reseller market. After all, even the ACCC has called for the same. If you're interested in reading the letter yourself, I have put the link below. It's quite lengthy and a bit weird. Okay, let's move on. Good news out of the NBN Co camp. The government has finally approved a temporary relief package for low-income households. This package is to help those who have been severely hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. NBN Co will waive the $37 monthly wholesale charge paid for by the internet providers for many services on the 25 down 5 up speed tier plan available from April until September. This, however, still means that the RSPs will need to cover their costs of operation that are on top of the wholesale charge. Interestingly, this is an opt-in scheme for internet providers, and RSPs who want to participate will have their corresponding retail offerings assessed by an internal panel at NBN Co to ensure that low-income families will have access to the most cost-effective NBN packages. The offer applies to all fixed line networks, fixed wireless, as well as the Sky Master Plus. Then, for even better news, Aussie Broadband and Superloop will not be charging customers for these plans, instead opting to offer the NBN service for free. Here is what Aussie Broadband Managing Director Philip Britt said. We are preparing to match NBN's funding pool for residential customers doing it tough due to COVID-19. We'll be applying relief on a case-by-case basis, and we encourage customers in financial difficulty to contact us directly. He continued, we'll also be participating in the program to offer free 25 down 5 up internet plans for low-income households with school-aged children who currently have no connection at all. Over the next few weeks, we'll be working closely with schools to identify families who will benefit from this program. It's critical for those families to access the internet for their kids' education during this time. In fact, Superloop was the first to offer such services, though limiting it to 5,000 households. In a social media post, Superloop founder Bevan Slattery thanked the Superloop team and shareholders for absorbing all the backhaul, transit, intercap and support costs for this incredibly important initiative. Superloop said that eligible customers will receive the 25 down 5 up megabits plan and unlimited quota service with typical evening speeds of 22 down and 2 up. They will remain at $0 a month until 30th September 2020. From 1st of October 2020, the plan fee will return to $64.95 a month unless you cancel. He did in fact say you may cancel at any time and no minimum term contracts apply. Well done Superloop, well done Aussie Broadband, and of course well done NBN Co for doing this. It would be great for electrical and water and council rates to do something similar for a similar period of time, just a thought. Alright, let's move on to Optus. It's time to sell. That's what the Australian government is doing with the release to auction of the 26 GHz spectrum that will be used for 5G. Optus is betting a lot on getting a piece of this pie. The only problem is, which isn't really a problem for telcos, is that the 5G implementation is not for large-scale mobile use. The 26 GHz spectrum will more likely be used for enterprise deployment, and the potential of this technology will disrupt the existing enterprise mobile services. So, while we may not see this technology in use in our own everyday lives, it could change the way enterprise communication services are used. You see, the 26 GHz band is seen as true 5G, not that petty 800 MHz spectrum that the rest of the telcos are rolling out. No. The speed that can be achieved on this spectrum exceeds 20 gigabytes per second. However, the limitation is distance. This is the first auction of the 26 GHz band, and if Optus and other telcos get enough and invest enough money to make it work, this would remove Telstra from being the enterprise king. Of course, Telstra is not happy while now in a dominant position. This can potentially change in the long term, and it could cause a lot of damage for them financially. So what are the details of this auction? Well, obviously it will release the spectrum into the market, enabling Australian mobile networks to deliver peak throughputs of more than 20 gigabits per second, with true 5G. Now, millimeter wave spectrum has unique propagation characteristics, which makes it well suitable to specific use cases, especially in a downstream enterprise market. The deployment of ultra-high bandwidth in excess of 20 gigabits per second will enable the development of many use cases not yet identified, including advanced manufacturing and remote robotics. It is anticipated that the deployment of millimeter wave networks will underpin the fourth industrial revolution. Now, I love hearing about robotics and industrial revolutions. We certainly need fast and powerful data transfers to achieve that with less physical cables. Let me know in the comments below if you imagine any other use cases for incredibly fast data transfer without wires at short distances, I suppose. Now, finally, our last topic. Apple is releasing a budget phone, and while the word budget means a whole lot of different things, in Apple's world it means about 750 Australian dollars. The iPhone SE is a 4.5-inch iPhone 6 lookalike with the return of the fingerprint reader and the latest specifications, well, in a small package. So why is this exciting? Well, because the phone sports all the features of the high-end mobile phone, and even though the price starts at $749, it is seen as a budget version comparably to the Android and Apple lineups. After all, just look at OnePlus. They are not a budget phone with high-end specs anymore. They are the high-end phone now. You can't look at them as a budget replacement to something as expensive as a Samsung. And the size amongst all the new phones chasing that phablet award, unable to reach all the corners with one thumb, this will attract a lot of people who don't like big phones, and there are many. Let me know in the comments below if you're one of those people. Imagine using a phone with one hand. What a time to be alive! And with this version, Apple will be able to attract customers that are not willing to pay $1,000 plus for the latest phone. The cost of this phone on a plan will be stupidly low. I expect this to be a huge seller for mobile providers on contract, and the price is perfect timing for the current world we live in. Let me know in the comments below if you're interested in buying this new phone when it comes out, or will you get it on a plan? Remember, there are many Android phones at even lower prices. We reviewed a few on this channel, so hey, I'll link those below for you guys to check that out. So on that note, thank you very much for watching. Catch you all next time. Remember to like this video if you did, and if you would like to see more, then please consider subscribing and also tapping that bell icon. Apparently, it helps a lot. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in another one. Bye!